And welcome back to another Buffalo Bills pregame 2016 draft preview. We've had some excitement going on here in the Buffalo area, in the front office mostly. There had been some calls for Ryan to step down or be fired, and instead, what did we do? We doubled down on the Ryans. Sal, immediate reaction. Rob Ryan, defensive coordinator.
So I guess we're the Aints this year. Welcome back. Hopefully we party like New Orleans. We'll see.
Double the Ryans, double the dysfunction. That's what you get when you have Robin Rex.
Anyone have anything to say about the Bills hiring a female coach? Kathryn Smith, working quality control, queuing up tape.
Hopefully there's some quality.
It's a publicity stunt, that's all it is.
I don't know about that. I'll say I've coached with women who've coached men's teams and have done pretty well.
Well, I mean, Becky Hammond is one thing, but I mean... I know you haven't personally done with Becky Hammond or anything like that, but yeah.
But no, I'll say coaching is more of an art form and a science at the same time. It doesn't matter what genitalia you have. Can you get the job done? Can you inspire? Can you teach? Those are the biggest things there.
All right, so optimism with the Kathryn Smith hire. The biggest news surrounding the draft, of course, has been the trade at the very top. The Rams have traded a buttload, it would seem, to get to the number one pick. And the question is, why? What do you think is behind Los Angeles' big splash?
Yes, the team that originated in Cleveland, they basically gave up a king's ransom to trade for somebody. We'll find out who. As we're going to talk later, we kind of came to that conclusion. It's probably Goff, if anyone. They're probably wanting to go with a quarterback and make a splash that way with a local boy. But when you come down to it, it'll just be another crappy LA team that will suck after relocating, like the Clippers,
Dodgers.
The Dodgers for many years. To be fair, they were good with Jackie Robinson, but it just reeks of desperation when the NFL is trying to get the market back. But you know what? LA is not a football team at the pro level. You got to play to who is actually watching the game. In LA, they have other stuff to do on Sundays, so don't care about it.
Show up late, leave early. Sal, in your recollection, do you ever remember a situation like this where the team aggressively trades to the top without an ultimate goal ahead of us? It would seem that they worked really hard, and everyone's
nobody knows who the prize is.
For who?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say the same thing was kind of like with the Redskins a couple years ago with RG3 when they traded with the Rams themselves. But, I mean...
No, Dan Snyder made it clear he was going after RG3.
Yeah, he wanted him at that point. That was pretty clear. That said, both teams ended up losers in that one. Because you like that. You like that. You like that.
So we did put our combined minds here at Buffalo Bills pregame to create our mock draft. Ta-da! And as mentioned, boy from Cal, and there's going to be a name recognizability at least around town. That's very important for the LA audience. Any other reason that you think that LA would make that move to pick up Goff?
They're trying to impress the hometown fans who may actually feel abandoned a little bit. Maybe tying in that local connection would be important to them, but we'll see about that.
Sal, number 2, we have them going with a quarterback as well, Wentz. Thoughts?
I mean, he's from AA. I mean, he hasn't played the best competition, but given who he's played in AA, I guess he's done fine.
Jumping down to 19 for the Bills, we all had some disagreements, so we decided to back up our choice. Justin, start off. Who do you have going at 19 to Buffalo?
Well, right now the Bills do need some help at the linebacker area. I would be ecstatic if they were to draft Reggie Ragland out of Alabama. The guy can play, and I think he has that versatility that Rex and Rob would want.
Sal?
I have Shaq Lawson going from Clemson. He's just got that motor. All he does is run, and all he does is want to play and hit.
And I, of course, want to draft a quarterback. Surprise, surprise to the faithful following here at Buffalo Bills pregame. I have Paxton Lynch out of Memphis. He's got that ideal quarterback look to him, which is quite the contrast to Tyrod, who's a smaller quarterback, and just his style of play is going to put him in a position where we need a backup quarterback. going into another season with just EJ as the answer, who proved that he couldn't win against Jacksonville in what was unfortunately a must-win game early in the season, but might have got us into the playoffs last year. The prospect of going into another season with Tyrod, who we expect to get some good performances out of, but realistically, we can also expect him to miss some games. I'm just not comfortable with just EJ. Do you think, if that not in the draft, the Bills address the backup quarterback situation this offseason?
I think they'll draft the quarterback, but you do have to take into consideration that cutting EJ will save nothing on salary cap. And when you look at backup quarterbacks, EJ's right in the middle of the road for that. So, is it really worth?
That's sad that's the middle of the road for backup quarterbacks, but I'm not disagreeing with you.
That's the truth of the matter.
Commentating on the state of the
If you're wanting to cut a guy who's really not costing much on cap to begin with, and have to spend more money to replace him as opposed to saving money to replace him, I don't know if that's a business savvy decision there.
The Pegulas have demonstrated that in their moves, they're not always necessarily looking to save the cap space. Like, they're willing to spend the money if they feel the team's upgraded. Sale, do you see EJ on the roster this year?
He's going to be on the roster. Now, will he be the number 2 or will he be the number 3? We don't know. I mean, I could see us drafting a quarterback. I mean, Cardale Jones, I could definitely see us picking him in the later rounds.
Yeah.
Specifically because of his skill set. It does remind me a lot of Kaepernick, which, with Roman, you saw how that worked out. And Kaepernick had a good deal.
Sometimes you always want that backup quarterback to be maybe a mirror image or a similar skill set as the starter, as opposed to having to install 2 different offenses for different people.
Scenarios. Not the only team in the division that has quarterback issues. The Jets also have their own scenario. Do you think that the Jets, there'll be trade or activity along the Jets quarterback scenario?
Ultimately, I think that they're going to either trade for a quarterback or try and lowball Fitzpatrick until they get to a number that's palpable on both ends. What does help them is DeBrickashaw Ferguson retire, which saves them a ton of cap space, which in turn could allow Fitzy to be signed. That said, they have to do something because who else will punch Geno Smith in the face?
Those Harvard men, they'll find a way. Fitzy's just trying to keep up with his classmates at Harvard in terms of salary, so he's looking for like 7 digits. Do you see him as the quarterback of the Jets this year or so?
That's actually a tough one. I could definitely picture it. Like, maybe he'll hold out until maybe 2 weeks into training camp, and then we'll see what happens, because, I mean, I wouldn't want Geno Smith as my quarterback. I mean,
he may play the Orton route as well, where he sits right until somebody gets hurt and they need a quarterback as well.
Right, and then you get to skip trading camp.
Yeah.
Can we Orton played that
Johnny Manziel? Johnny Manziel might be there.
I don't see him getting
job
offers, really.
Johnny?
All right, here at Buffalo Bills pregame, we do like to end our show strong. So we know we haven't picked out a Florida State player for the Bills yet, and there's one juicy sitting in the middle rounds. Aguayo! Do you see the Bills using an early pick on a kicker? Yes or no?
Given your ex, yeah.
No. With the rule changes, I don't think that we need a deep kicker, which also means bye-bye to our kickoff specialist. So we won't have any more.
And we're stuck with Carpenter, like, out of everything.
Well,
he sticks around.
Think about it like this. If touchback's at the 25, Carpenter can still sky it and get inside the 5, and our coverage units can do the job then.
We miss you, Steve Christie. We'll be back in May. Thank you so much for tuning in to Buffalo Bills pregame. Good night.